tell about how you met them?
Well, through the business.
Through the business? And then did you start playing, demonstrating right away?
Yeah.
Were they in the mall at the time?
No, they were in a building down on Front Street.
In Beaver Den here.
In Beaver Den.
Did you move here from Madison then?
Yes.
Oh, that was nice. So you've been here, what, 25 years?
No. I came here in 72.
Okay. Well, that's a long time.
Yeah.
And then you've been demonstrating ever since, huh?
I sold 20 organs in one season.
Oh my gosh. Kidding? 28?
28.
Didn't I tell you he was a family businessman? Really?
That's right.
I'm not kidding.
Tell me how you learned all the music that you know. Where'd you learn to play all this stuff?
Well, I played in bands, you know.
Uh-huh.
And I played with Mickey Rooney.
Really?
Yes.
Where'd you play with him?
On the French Riviera.
See,
when,
you guys always thought I was kidding when I said that.
When was that?
Day World War II.
Wow. Were you playing with a military band, a backup, or
No.
what were you doing?
I was just selected from our group
Mm-hmm.
to join this orchestra. It was a 12-piece.
Uh-huh.
11 men and Mickey Rooney.
Well, he was entertaining troops, isn't that right?
Yes, we were in troops
Huh.
in a hotel ballroom.
Right.
And we had 12 chorus groups,
No kidding.
all topless.
No kidding. In those days?
Yeah.
I didn't know the Army did that.
Oh yeah, the Army does all kinds of things.
Were you playing keyboards? Were you playing the keyboards, piano, and...
Piano, I played piano.
Yeah.
He didn't have what we call keyboards at that time.
Uh-huh.
You were playing piano, you were playing piano.
Right.
That's right. And I have a picture someplace between the children of Mickey Rooney sitting on a grand piano and me at the keyboard.
Gee, I'd like to see that.
Did you like playing with him? Was he an easy person to work with?
Oh, he was gorgeous. He was a gentleman. He treated us. I'll tell you, when the show ended, it was, let's see, how many weeks? 6 weeks we played the show. And after the show was over, he called a ritzy nightclub in Nice, France.
Uh-huh.
And we reserved the whole place for just the band, the girls.
I don't think you should tell us anymore.
Really.
You had a good time, right?
Yeah, you're darn right. And he took us to this nightclub, and he spoke to the manager and told him to bring the best champagne for the sub-basement. So he did. And we had to pay for the champagne per person. But how much do you think I paid for a glass of champagne?
Well, I don't know. Now, that was French money or American?
French.
I don't know.
I'll tell you, 9 cents a glass.
Wow.
But they served it in Fumba glasses like we serve our big beers.
Okay.
And I had 2 of them and I couldn't take no more.
Oh, well, that is a lot of champagne, I guess.
Oh, I know.
So you spent a lot of time in France then, and along the Mediterranean.
Yeah, oh, the Mediterranean is beautiful.
Uh-huh.
And Nice campus situated in the hills. And the beach is down below. The people change their bathing suits right on the beach. from their street clothes.
Street clothes, yeah.
And boy, what a sight. I wish I had a camera then.
Oh, my kingdom for
A video. Well then, who else did you play with? When you came back, did you have your own band, or?
No, I played with Woody Herman one night.
Ah.
One night stand in Denver, Colorado.
Uh-huh.
Was that when you were at Fitzsimmons?
Yeah, at Fitzsimmons, Denver. There I got drafted too.
Mm-hmm.
Piano.
Always in demand, huh? Quite the
He
musician.
was really in the medical car.
See, I've got I've got tapes that I recorded, you know.
Oh, really?
And I'm gonna make copies. You kids are all gonna get a copy.
Oh, I'd love that.
I've got one here. If you wanna listen to it, I'll bring it out.
Well, we can. Do you have a player, tape player?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we can do that.
We'll have to go to my room.
Okay, let me just put this on pause here.
Okay, yeah, we can.
What?
She's gonna put that on pause. Don't you just have to tell us about
That was my own tape.
your own tape? Okay.
So what was it like playing with Woody Herman? Do you remember what he was like?
It's his work.
Yeah.
You know, Woody Herman, he was a perfectionist.
Right?
And boy, you had to be right on the toes.
But he had his own band. How was it that you got drafted for that?
Well, his piano player was picked up by authorities for drug, you know. And
That long ago?
yeah, that's how I got drafted.
That's after you came back from France, though, right?
No, that was before.
That was before.
Yeah. Because what happened was he got sent, when he was drafted into the Army, he got sent to Fitzsimmons General Hospital for medical training.
Uh-huh.
And so that was the time when he was there. But then after that, it was when he went.
So
Then you went to California next year, didn't you?
Yeah.
where did you go in California?
Lompoc.
Where is that?
Lompoc.
Oh,
40 miles north of Santa Barbara.
right.
That's a paradise over there.
Yeah, we were there, weren't we?
Sure.
We were in Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
We were visiting some friends there. Elizabeth went to school. And I thought it was lovely, too. They moved back to Wisconsin, those crazy people.
Oh, well.
How long were you in California then?
2 years.
2 years? What did you do there?
Training in the military.
So when you went overseas, then you went over as a medic, or
As a
Yeah.
medic.
and then did you saw service in the field as a medic?
Oh, no, I was General Hospital.
You stayed in the hospital then, mostly in France.
No, France, Germany, Luxembourg,
Uh-huh.
Holland.
So they moved you around quite a bit.
Yeah, the frontline moved, that's our hospital.
Huh. Wow.
It wasn't a field hospital.
Right. It was sort of back where they did all the.
The major work, yeah.
Right.
We did all our work inside a building.
Uh-huh.
I know, I was asking her that.
Yeah, afterward, Ed wanted to become a doctor, I remember, and he would have had to continue training at Fitzsimmons, right?
Right.
And then he could have gotten a degree, but of course he didn't have the money at the time, and I don't think GI Bill would have covered that, would it?
No,
I don't think they had that at the time.
no, they didn't.
Hmm.
And I approached him at the time, you know,
Mhm.
and he told me that there were too many doctors. So he said he's not
I
doing
suppose.
it.
Well, that was his opinion, you know,
Yeah,
he didn't
yeah,
have much
all
use
of
for
it.
them. I don't know what he had use for it, really.
So then, after you came back from World War II, did you spend most of your time working in the music industry?
No, I took jobs, you know, night jobs playing,
Uh-huh.
but I worked in a printing shop for 20 years.
Oh.
I retired from there.
Uh-huh. But not from the music.
Never, oh, that I wouldn't give up.
That's not a job, that's your life.
That's pleasure.
That's right. What else did you do?
Run around mostly.
Where'd you go to, though?
Where did I go to?
Yeah.
I stayed in Milwaukee.
Uh-huh. You wandered around in Milwaukee.
Then I moved to Milwaukee.
Uh-huh.
Lived there for 19 years
Uh-huh.
and commuted up and back between cities
Uh-huh.
with my job.
So you liked it in Wisconsin and you came back to stay, huh?
Sure.
Where else have you been in the world besides, I mean, it sounds like you got a pretty good tour of Europe while you were in World War II.
That's about all.
That was it? They didn't send you off in the Pacific?
I was in England for, let's see, for 4 months.
Uh-huh.
And then when D-Day came along,
Uh-huh.
I landed on D plus 4.
Oh.
I was the first casualty of
You went that long?
Yeah. Well, you know, that was on D-Day.
Mm-hmm.
D plus 4.
Mm-hmm.
We were in a landing ship for troops, you know,
Uh-huh.
and they had a cannon chute that you threw your duffel bag and jump in after it.
Uh-huh.
And I threw my duffel bag, it landed safely, but by the time I got to jump on the chute to go down, some soldiers got underneath with his helmet,
Oh, wow.
and I hit it with my tailbone. I
Ooh.
couldn't walk, they had to carry me.
So that was the end of your D-Day adventure, huh? Do you remember what it was like there, though? Did you get to watch what was going on, or
Not much.
Not much of it, huh?
In fact, they pitch our tent into that orchard, and half the apples on the ground were me.
Wow.
Yeah, true.
Wow.
And when we got up next morning and looked what we were sleeping on, God, I was complaining.
What about the soldier that you landed on when you jumped down? Was he okay?
Knocked them out.
Knocked him out, huh?
Sure, well, he was just quite an impact.
You don't remember his name, though, do you?
I wish I would have just stopped and take time off to get to know the man, you know?
Uh-huh.
It wasn't intentional.
Yeah. Did you, any of the men that you worked with overseas, did you keep in contact with them when you came back? All went separate ways, huh?
Everybody went their own way.
Huh. You never ran into any of them by accident or anything later on?
No, not a single one. Most of them.
If they allow it.
Huh. Interesting.
I'll be right there, Shirley, just a minute.
Is that when you started playing most of the musical instruments? Didn't you play with, did you have a brother who played string bass?
Yeah, he was killed in Germany.
Uh-huh.
He was a lineman.
Uh-huh.
He was stringing lines for communication.
Uh-huh.
And he was up on the pole and they shot him down.
Do you know where it was?
Nope.
Huh.
I went to the cemetery where he was born.
Uh-huh.
Where he was.
Where he's buried?
Yeah, where he was buried, but they could never find a grave.
Really?
Well, there were so many, there were thousands of them.
Uh-huh.
Just couldn't.
You didn't get a chance to see him or anything while you were over there, did you?
No.
Wow. What about, though, when you guys were younger? You sort of had a band together with your brothers, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. We played all the time.
Did you play at home? Did you play out?
Yeah, we played some jobs.
What did you play in Racine? Did you play for some radio station?
WRJN.
Oh, yeah?
WRJN out of Racine?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Who all played with you in there?
A fellow by the name of George Feltman, he played accordion.
Were they,
I don't remember.
was he a fellow that you went to school with, or
No, just a pickup band.
just met him, huh? Huh. What do you remember about the neighborhood that you grew up in?
Oh, that's too far gone.
Oh, is that the neighborhood where Eugene and Jen lived? Is that,
Well, where I was born, on the 9th place.
uh-huh, where Busha
Well-
had her place?
I'll tell you what I remember, and then maybe you'll remember. You remember when you guys had the microphone, and we used to put it in the front hall closet, in the front bedroom closet, and broadcast? You
No, I
remember
don't
that?
remember.
Yeah, they
That
had that.
must have been hilarious.
It was, because Ma used to think that that the radio was on, and it was us in the closet. And she'd get real mad when she'd find out that she was tricked. I don't know if you
I don't
remember that.
Is it-
George was into that an awful lot. George used to do that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
But I remember when you had the bands that you used to practice in the basement too.
Oh, I'll tell you a little story. I got picked up by a band that was about eight piece. And the drummer invited us over to his house for a rehearsal. And he had a sister. And she baked a cake for us. And we were practicing at the foot of the stairs in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, here, thump, 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 here comes the cake rolling down the stairs without breaking.
What did she make it out of?
I was just gonna say, what
Yeah.
was this?
Nobody ate.
Much ever again.
Or another time I had an experience. I wasn't drinking at the time, you know, and we went to another guy's house for rehearsal, and his father come out with a gallon jug of wine.
Mm-hmm.
Start passing the wine glasses to everybody and kept on filling them up. After about the third glass, I looked at the piano and I saw 2 keyboards. And what the hell kind of an instrument am I playing? So that's the end of rehearsal for us.
I wonder what it sounded like.
Really? Too bad you didn't have a tape of that one.
Yeah, that tape would have been good.
What was that? That was the neighborhood you grew up in, though. Is that where you were born?
No, I was born there.
I
Uh-huh.
was born on Beaver.
Uh-huh.
Did they have the grocery store at the time?
Yes.
What,
Yeah, I was born Most of us.
Well, we all were born at home, sure, wherever we lived, because my mother had midwives delivering, helping to deliver. And at the time that you were born, they had the grocery store, and was that when you and Alice got into the wine?
Yeah.
How old were you? About 4 years old, right?
Oh, no, we're older than that.
Were you really?
We're old enough to know better.
Well, I didn't know. I thought you guys were really young. What happened?
Well, we're half playing house.
Yeah, playing house.
And so that was our drink for the day. She had a little tea set, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and filling the cups all the time. Good old Ed was just down with it all the time.
What was that store like? I never saw it.
It was a grocery store.
Just a small one, or?
I'll tell you that Dad really suffered through that last store we had on, was it 16th Street? Yeah.
I don't know. Is that 16th or Lincoln or Windley?
No, Lincoln.
I don't remember any of that, because that was before I was born.
And that was when people were really poor.
Yeah.
And he charged all their groceries at that store, you know. And he ran up credit till $92,000. And lo and behold, the first supermarket opened up on 13th Street in Lincoln High School. And all our charge customers went over there.
And managed to pay cash.
Yeah.
I remember
We never collected a penny on that.
Yeah, I remember my mother being very bitter about that, and I remember she had like account books,
Yeah.
all written in a real beautiful hand, everybody's bills, and she would sit there and turn the pages and look at that and read the names and remember what they owed.
Yeah.
And this was many years after the store was gone, because I wasn't born. When I was born, they were all done with all the stores and everything. They moved into the house, and that was right after Esther was born. And so they were no longer, my father was then working out in a factory. But I remember my mother looking at that, and it was very hard for her to have to associate with those people. Still owed them all that money and never paid a penny of it. So that was hard to take.
Yeah, you got the whole history now.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
Quite a bit. What else do I used to tell them about that I remember? Do you remember when Mom and I would go away and they'd leave us kids home together and we would play cocktail party or nightclub? And we used to dance in heels and you and George would play.
Yeah.
That was fun too.
I hear that when you all were little kids, you had to wake my mom up and make sure she got to school, and she would never get up. Or was it the other way around? Who had to wake who up?
I used to try and wake George up. I was supposed to wake George up. And he just wouldn't wake up. And he would throw things at me, and I'd go in and try and wake him up, and he would throw things at me.
What was George like?
What was George like? George was he was good musically too. He played the bass fiddle. He played it both classically with bow, and he also was able to swing
He
with
played
it.
all city orchestra. Played first chair and bass.
And
He was good. And I played with him with a group called the Four New Yorkers. And you know where Beaumont Road is?
Yeah.
And that Blue Dahlia
Yes.
nightclub, well, that's where we played. And it's still there today.
How old were you when you did your first professional music job?
Yeah, I'll tell you, the first music job paid 11 cents.
Where was that one?
I don't remember, but I remember we got paid.
You remember the 11 cents?
My brother paid us all, and he said, "This is all that's left for us." And I got 11 cents.
What'd you spend it on?
I don't know.
I'm gonna ask. He's probably still got it, right?
Yeah, I still have it.
What was the story with those molasses?
One two one
That
E,
everybody.
dial 5111.
We were playing
121 E, dial
And somebody
5111.
knocked a molasses can on the floor. It opened up, and molasses all over the bed, pillows, and everything else. Oh, that was a mess.
How'd you clean it up?
We didn't. We threw it in the washing machine.
I know it was on the walls and everything, but nobody told what happened.
Nobody squealed.
No, instead of my mother came home, looked at that, and said, "What was going on?" Nobody knew anything.
Huh. Do you remember where you went to high school? It was in Milwaukee?
Bayview.
You went to Bayview?
Yeah.
Huh.
And you went to what used to be Boys Technical Trade School.
Yeah, and boys tech.
What did you study there?
how to spend time in school.
Were you good at it?
Things haven't changed much, have they?
So you didn't learn printing there. You learned it later on.
Yeah, I picked it up on an apprenticeship course.
Well, listen, I'm watching the shadows get long outside. I think we'd better go.
Yeah, well,